Got something for you. Merry Christmas. Wanna rock? Take it. Tuscan Raider. High note. Make it stinky. Stinky, you gotta make the stinky face. Or it doesn't sound right. Stinkier. Like it reeks. Good job. Let's practice that.
Orale. My name is Paulie. This is a special Latino Slant Live. I want to thank Gary. I want to thank Keith of Pop Culture Minefield. Wow, what a discussion. What a show. You know, it's important to talk about things that we just sometimes don't like to talk about or like want to poo-poo or shoo-shoo away. And that marks the difference in people that can do it in this age of, you know, if you disagree, you will get canceled, you will get exiled, all of that, to a civil discussion amongst mature adults. Hello, we're talking about representation. Yes, I want to feel represented in the UK. I don't know. I saw Purple Valkyrie in the in the chat. So, oh, of course, my girlfriend's texting me right now. Oh, she's calling. Okay, you know what? You're gonna have to wait because hold on. You're gonna be part of this discussion. Hello? Meet you in the back. You have groceries to unload? Okay, I'll be there. All right, hold on. Bye. Okay, so listen. Man duty calls, and we got to do this. So what I'm gonna do is two things. My wonderful co-host for today, Salty Texas C, and Nick Weiser.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
You sound good.
All right, I've never done this from the road before, so this is like totally weird. Like it's really tripping me out.
All right, let Salty take. I trust Salty.
You got it.
Take the helm. Take the helm.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring anyone in right now?
I think I'll just talk to Nick Weiser about what it's like on the dark side of the moon.
Right.
You know,
I'll be right
I'm really
back.
glad that we went back.
I gotta take care of Mrs. Slant.
Roger that. So, hey, I am not nearly as charming as that handsome man known as Latino Slant, but I just want to say hey to everybody in chat, and it's a big honor to be handed the channel. Nick Weiser, what's going on? For those of you who were in Pop Culture Minefield's show, I would love to hear in the comments section what you think and what's going on. I know I thought I hit a highlight today with Gary, getting him to read the lyrics from George Michael's, of course, classic Wham song, Careless Whisper. But let's not make this about me. Nick Weiser, how's it going? What are you on the road for, dude? Are you on the run from the police? What's going on?
So, everything's going good today. I had a very busy Saturday morning. My children, they're having a weekend with their grandma, so I did that. I can't see the chat because obviously I'm on the roll, but once I hail to the chat, I can't see any of you, but I'm just acknowledging that I know that you're all there. What's up? I'm just getting ready. Me and my girlfriend are going to head down for a long drive. Soon we're going to head to a show down in a town called Joliet. We're going to go see a bunch of Bay Area thrash metal bands tonight. It should be fun. How are you?
That sounds great. You know, I'm all right. I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning because those of you who didn't watch it, Zax, who is the moderator for everybody, and I'm lucky enough to get to work with him on my own show, did his very first live stream with a face reveal last night, and it was absolutely fantastic. So after this stream, go check it out. If you guys are bored, Maxfield Von Priestley's Wakaziji's Tea House, Flaccid Phoenix was on. It was a really good show. But yeah. Oh, look at this. The handsome man is back with the hat.
Hey, speaking of face reveal, I thought you were going to reveal your face here on the Latino Slant, you sexy man.
I did it last night, but I have been doing the IRL and cleaning my house, so I look like a schmata. So I'm just gonna kind of chill behind my shield over here, brother. If that's okay.
No problem, no problem. Thanks for doing this.
Dude,
Let's
no
say
worries.
hello to some wonderful people in the chat before we bring on some other fine gentlemen. And wow, we got a super chat, Mr. Ticklechunk, for $2 from Canada. I hate when you and Tom are right at the same time.
Ooh. It's like a paradox.
That is very nice. That is a paradox indeed. And yeah, you all right, honey? Oh, you're hot. Yeah. Mama Slant just got in from the heat.
Hot.
It is hot. It is hot.
Nauseous.
Hot and nauseous. Okay. Well, maybe get something cool to drink. And we love you. We love you, Romy. Okay. This is for Mr. Ticklechunk. Here we go. Órale. Muchísimas gracias, Mr. Tickle. All the great people in the chat. If you're not subscribed, I know there's a couple of new people here. What are you waiting for? Págale. Pégale, pégale, pégale. Don't and págale. You can hit the like, the subscribe, and pay me. All right. So representation, Salty Texas.
Yeah, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think we just want to continue that conversation. I thought was really doing very well. What were you and Nick's initial thoughts while we were doing our panel?
This is let's be first of all really honest and acknowledge that this is a difficult conversation in the way that I have generally tried to avoid these, because depending on who you're having this conversation with, no matter how you present your opinion, it can get, people start using their outside voices inside, one way or another. And for me, it always comes down to the story. I think I'm not always a purist. I think the best example of this was the reimagining of Battlestar Galactica, where we had gender swaps and no one cared. No one cared at all. And there were arguably some sexuality swaps as well. If the story is really good, and it's not just about the superficial changes of something, or it's not an ideological statement, I would say, I'm going to 2/3 of the cases, I don't even think it's noticeable. I think there are IPs where it is noticeable, and most notably, obviously, what's going on with Tolkien and the Rings of Power. But that's my take on this, man.
Nick Weiser, 32 flavors he has, sometimes deep down in his manhood, but that's another story. What are your thoughts?
No, for me, like when I think about what I think of as representation versus what the perceived, I guess, mainstream idea of is, are very two different contrasting things. I look at things as from a purity standpoint, and I'm very unapologetic on that. I am purist. Now, that doesn't mean when changes happen that they're necessarily bad. I just think that they're just needless. Like, I'll give you an example here. Like, I guess we use the character She-Hulk. She's not a bad character. She's actually a pretty great character even. But is the idea of just giving everyone a female Hulk a creative idea? Not really, but it doesn't make her a bad character. I guess you could just say she's a character handled with a bit more love, per se. Now there's, and then once again, I like seeing, like, I like more Wonder Woman characters and less Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. So I just see, once again, the changes are needless. It doesn't make it bad. Now, there are times where it has happened, it's bad, like Captain Marvel. But then, once again, you get exceptions like your She-Hulks of the world, who are just, just the female version of another character, and they obviously have more care, which is great. But I'm more originality over tokenization, as Eric July would like to say.
Good call. Good call.
Let's put a quick pause. I just want to say hello to a beautiful member and you two gentlemen are, so you guys support the slant as well. in a very important way with your dollars. And I value that. I think we give you guys great videos, great entertainment, but also too, it's Courtney. It was her birthday yesterday, and I took off my shirt, and that's really important for because listen, it was a birthday present from Six to its Courtney for $50. Take your shirt off, Paulie.
You got to.
I had the guns. I did it. These are all great points. If you guys are just getting here, welcome to the Latino Slant. I'm here with Salty Texas C. 32 flavors of Nick Weiser. We're gonna have some other gentlemen hop on. This is a real discussion because a lot of us are not going to agree, but this is where you can have that discussion. I feel a lot of times the discussion cannot be had on both sides, on all kinds of sides. Like you said, you start hearing that outer voice. Very well said, Salty. Very well said. But we can do that, and we're going to attempt that.
Yeah.
I was stripped down. Yeah, it was hot. Before any other, we had fun on our karaoke last night. Any other points before I bring these gentlemen in?
Paulie, I think a place to start. I mean, and again, I am not a master debater, but I would say finding the commonality of shared ground on what were great, first of all, great stories, great films or television to begin with.
Okay.
That just happened to have changes made that produced a positive result. Because to me, I think it's almost like if you start with what works and why it works, that then sort of, to me, it validates both sides or multiple sides to this argument.
Yeah, I want to say Battlestar. I want to say the sci-fi genre, fantasy genre, because it seems to always be the most progressive, the most advanced, like it's always ahead. Because so why don't we just go with that? Yeah, because there's so many great examples of what we're talking about, of what of what we're talking about. Like you said, with the gender swap of Starbuck, but also too Edward James Olmos as Adama.
But he was born to play that role, and that's the whole thing. Who else would have been Adama, Paulie? Come on, man.
But what I'm saying is that, like, we are all in agreement. So that is a great place to jump from. So with that being said, let's bring in some other brothers here. First time to the slant, Christopher. Was it Moon?
Oh, did it cut off? I go by Christopher Moonlight Cooksey because my production's Christopher Moonlight Productions. It's an old nickname that stuck.
Pleasure, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
He was on the pop culture minefield panel. I just thought it would be the civil thing to do to invite everyone over from the panel. So thanks for being here.
I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
Orale. Once I bring everyone on, Nick, I'm gonna have to throw one of our OG videos to break them in.
No.
Aaron Teague, what's up, Aaron?
Hey, Paulie, thanks for having me on here. And let me first start off by saying, whatever it is, I'm against it. There. Done.
Okay. Wait a minute. What about tacos, man? Come on. We're trying to find common denominators here. Cannot be against tacos. No.
Tacos, burritos, chimichangas. I know chimichangas is a Tex-Mex thing, but chimichangas,
Yeah. And that's the thing, Salty. These great the things that unify us are so powerful, like food and music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, music, man.
And family, and faith.
That's why
a lot of people do have faith.
That's why they call the dinner table. They call it a communion, because you're sitting down at the dinner table. You're communing with each other, usually as a family or friends. And of course, what's centered around food.
Orale, I love it. And members of the channel, some more. God, you guys are beautiful, man. Shanatsky, deleted scenes. ¿Qué pasó?
Hello. Hey.
That's it.
Hey. I'm white, so I'm automatically wrong.
Oh gosh. Por Dios. Por
I'm
Dios,
tired of being
Shanansky.
beaten down by the man.
Okay, if I'm gonna be the man in this regard, Salty, I'll do it with respect. Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, it's some of these in God. I don't want to. I'm not a drama farmer. I stay the hell out of stuff. I just what's weird to me, not weird. What is strange to see in our fandom, and I think it's what nerds have always done. Right? We used to get in arguments about Dungeons and Dragons. We used to get in arguments about Star Wars. We used to get in arguments about just everything, even comic book stuff. So it's normal. I think what's different about this is that now we're bringing a racial component into a conversation that we never really looked at it that way before. And it's do we need to have these conversations? I don't know. I think that we're being set up to be put in these situations intentionally, which is causing us to suddenly have very, I would say, conflicts that don't ever get resolved, which drive a wedge in our fandom. And I hate that. But again, now should I say that because I'm a 50-year-old white boy, who's straight? Now, does that disqualify my opinion? I don't know. It's just to me, well, okay,
not here.
But you know what I mean? I mean, it's like I'd like. It would be awesome if we could get to this place where even if we don't agree with one another, and even if we get to this place of yelling at one another, we still remember why we love what we love, and that's what I'm afraid is happening. And we saw it a lot with look at every property that's come out, Marvel, Star Wars. People have walked away, and God help us, like I said, with Tolkien, with the Rings of Power. I really wonder what that's going to be.
So, for the sake of yeah, unlike Gary in the way he runs a large panel. I want to go in order, so we'll go from top to bottom, left to right. So if you guys see the screen, 32, then Shanatsky, then Baron, then our Moonlight brother, Moon. I'm gonna call you Mooney.
Moon River wider than a mile.
Nice. Sorry. Maybe you should be on our panel, on our karaoke.
Have your people. We'll call Reverend Moon.
Last but not least, how about that? Okay, so okay, let's just assume, for argument's sake, Salty, that this is a quote unquote safe space. This is your mi casa es su casa. Mi casa es su casa. So don't worry about that shit. Everyone here has a voice. Everyone, every nerd's voice matters.
Oh, so you're not going to end the stream if I say something you don't like? Just checking. Okay. Yeah.
No.
The stream is over.
No, because there's the thing. There's the thing is that I'm gonna do my best, Bill Clinton.
Sorry, man.
Well, I'm not gonna put down someone's good idea just because it's not my idea.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I did not have sexual relations. Okay, so let's hear from Mr. Moon. Let's take it there, since everyone else has said a couple of words. What are your just continuing that conversation from pop culture?
Yeah. First, I want to say, to Salty Texas, the point, said we didn't used to have these conversations at all. It never crossed our minds. And this kind of goes into the what a lot of people will say is a Marxist idea, which is everything's political. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is that people want it to be, it's like everything's political, everything's racist. Mm-hmm. You can't look at it's like I like to garden. I can't look at my tomatoes without seeing them through a racial lens. Mm-hmm. And the idea is to just make it all about them, their narcissism. Like you always have to look at it through these lenses and therefore always be talking about it and never be able to get away from it. And, I used to live in Hollywood. I grew up actually outside of Hollywood, and I used to be part of the goth punk culture. And I recently came across an article that's just saying goth is going mainstream and now it's more inclusive to people of other sexualities and races. And I was like,
it always was.
It always was.
Why are you gaslighting us?
Right.
It's like, So there's this idea of like, again, like rewriting the past, or, you know, forgetting what something was like before so they can act like they're the first, or they're the people that are making it better or more revolution or something like that.
Yeah,
so you get
good.
caught up in it. You get caught up in always having to argue it instead of just enjoying it for what it is. I mean, they're in the goth clubs. I know it's hard for people to believe because there's this kind of movie version of what goth is, but it was a lot of Latino, a lot of Black people, a lot of trans people. There were drag queens. There was everything. So it's like there's a gaslight to get us all arguing and forgetting what it is that, you know, like Battlestar Galactica. I mean, Edward James almost was a sci-fi legend before that, because Blade Runner.
Yes.
So and we love talking about Blade Runner. We love talking about all these things, but suddenly we've got to all, you know, worry about, am I going to get accused of being racist? I've got to go out of my way to prove I'm not racist, you know, and it just becomes this mess of having to address everything that we love through a lens that before didn't even cross our minds, because we were just having fun enjoying it.
When I was go ahead, Paulie.
Yeah, I want to make sure we're hitting the rounds. Deleted scenes. You have a word or two to say?
I do, and I wanted to say, especially to you, Paulie, I really want to thank you, because you've opened my eyes. Certainly to your perspective. I had issues with Doctor Strange 2 as well, but you had whole other ones that I wasn't even hearing. And I'm glad I've around this, that we can come in and we can see all of the, find out where we have differences and where we agree. And most of the time, you know, I want to thank you for like bringing me on and sort of opening my eyes to this whole new sort of world that I'm not really a part of.
You know what? I love
you know
this
different
the
perspective.
Pleasure's mine, brother.
And
the pleasure's mine. Salty Texas.
Appreciate it.
Last night, I had over me and Romy had over. Let's just break. We'll just break it down, right? A gay man, a gay woman who kind of doesn't go by any labels. African American woman, African American man, myself and Romy, and we were playing cornhole the whole night and having a fucking blast. That's, to me, that's what it's all about, right? You know, just different people coming together, just have sharing a good time with each other over drinks and food and playing a silly game. It's still there, Salty. It still exists. Different people can come together. And I lost Salty.
Oh.
Salty.
Am I back?
You're back.
Can you hear me?
So
all right.
Yeah.
Yes. I nuked myself trying to pull up a clip.
You did during that lovely
professional
thing that I was telling.
I heard you. I heard most of that. Yeah.
Always professional, Texas.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. No, but Paulie, I mean, and here's the thing, that was normal. People did that. And I said this on a stream maybe a week or two ago, but believe it or not, the world did exist before 1995. And it especially, before before a lot of what we're seeing, a generation who are so ingrained and indoctrinated into this. And going back to, when I forget the gentleman's name, I think it's Moon Pie River brother. Sorry if I'm butchering your thing. He was talking about the goth scene. Well, I was in the punk scene in the late 80s and early 90s, and we didn't think about it because there was an African American guy that I hung out with. There was an African American woman. There was a guy whose family had fled Iran, who happened to be Persian, who hung out. We had an Asian female and mixed race people. And you know what we'd all do? We'd go to see punk shows, and we'd slam dance, and then we'd go and we'd have drinks and we'd have fun, and we'd sit and talk about philosophy in Greek diners until 5 o'clock in the morning. And no one ever said and looked to one another and go, you know what? I want you to check your privilege. No one ever had these kind of conversations. It's just like you say, Paulie. And I think we're the poorer for it, because I do believe we need to be defined by our actions and the content of our character. There might have been a very smart man who said that a long time ago.
Really fast, Solomon Thornton says, I'm a black man, and I could never relate to Black Panther, but I could relate to Spider-Man and Luke Skywalker because both came from humble beginnings like myself. I was Luke Skywalker as a kid. Before, I was Rocky Balboa. After, I was Danielson. Yes, Solomon. Yes. Love this comment. 32 flavors. Your thoughts? Did we lose 32?
Yo, hello. Sorry. My mic on the road is having issues. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. So now this subject, I grew up in the city, and I grew up in the area of Michael Jordan during the 2-3 peats. And I lived in a very, for lack of a better word, diverse neighborhood. Not one human being on that block didn't love Michael Jordan. Not one kid, boy or girl, didn't say, oh man, I can't be inspired by Michael Jordan because I don't look like him. We all loved him. We all wanted to be him. And how could you not? He was truly the greatest. And with the 2-3 beats, 91 through 93, 96, right, it was glorious. Now, a lot of these changes that are happening, the constant sexuality and the race swaps and all the yada yadas, they did happen way back when, but it was so seldom that it made it feel like at the time you really were trying to find the best actor. And the best example I can give is Michael Clark Duncan with the Ben Affleck Daredevil. Now, how you feel about the movie is neither here nor there. That type of thing, it happened so rarely. It felt like this is a genuine move. Maybe we try our people who look like the Kingpin, but you know what? We did not like what we saw, so we went with Michael Clark Duncan. It felt like it was a very genuine change. Now it happens so often that you don't know to believe them when they say they try looking for the best person. I don't believe them because it happens so frequently. That's the difference. It happens so often. You're like, you can't believe them. And then even when they say, oh, we try looking for the best person, and then you see that quote unquote best person, and you're like, this is not good. It makes me feel like they didn't try. It made me feel like they're being lazy. And they wanted who they wanted just to, fit their demographical optics checkboxes rather than the merit of a successful actor. So
that's great. That's great, brother.
It's a very conflicting thing when this happens. And here's the thing: I've always told all my friends on streams this: when someone wants to call you an ist or a phobe or an ism, never ever defend yourself, because when you do that, you are playing into their game. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to defend yourself. They want you to say, this is why I'm not ... Don't ever do that. When you do that, you've given them the victory, straight up. Okay. Now, if you actually up those things, you might have some serious issues. I say let them prove it. If you got nothing to worry about, if you're not any of those things, and you got the good head on your shoulders, let them prove it. 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, they ain't capable of proving it. They're just saying that to get a rise out of you.
Great. Yes, love how Nick is making that sound. He's in his car. This is fantastic. And I see you, brother. I see you good looking. Thanks for being here.
It's a lot of handsome. That would be a lot of handsome on this panel.
Well,
just saying.
Listen. We got it. I love this conversation, Salty. I love these conversations. I think what I have seen in this entertainment is that promise becomes shit, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. And that's why I really, really went out. I had my moment with Promised Land, this TV show.
Yeah.
And I made those videos in regards to Disney's ethics. Of course, no one's surprised. I mean, we have Tom and Jay in the chat. They know. they've known for years. And I'm done. Where I was kind of sticking up for some of these casting choices, I want nothing to do with it. I do want, those great shows to be created, like we've talked about, or Battlestar Galactica, But Salty, I'm done, brother. Let me get these two things. I'm sorry, I know you want to talk.
No. I'm just gonna go hallelujah.
Super checks.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Mr. Tukelchunk, $5 Canadian. Racist tokenism, not what Hollywood does today. Like Paulie said on Pop Culture Minefield, proper representation is needed. We were get in pasted. Okay, I don't understand that last sentence.
Past. We're getting past it.
Oh, we're getting past it. Pasted. Oh my God, sorry.
So I'm wearing my readers.
What I
got it.
And Mr. Tukelchunk comes in again for another $2 Canadian. Racist tokenism is what Hollywood does today.
Amen.
And for that, and for the new guys here on my panel, this is the OG. This guy is everyone's uncle. Orale.
Viva.
40 people live in the chat, Salty.
Dude.
Smash
Dude.
it. Like it. Share it. Rub it down. Do me, baby.
Yeah.
Go for it,
Yeah,
Salty.
and-
What were we gonna
Rub
say?
that thumbs up the right way, bitches.
Yeah. Lick that like button, like that lick button, whatever it
Ooh,
takes.
we get to diddle it
Whatever
too?
takes. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not judging. I'm not
If
judging.
we're saying
No,
this stuff, we better get a girl in here. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my God.
No, we got the boys here. We got each other.
Yeah. You're amazing, Jay. Much love to you, man. I mean, these dudes these dudes are something else, man. Like Tom and Jay and Gary, Chris Gore, R&B. They come and support. This is great stuff. I know we're getting off topic, but I'm just giving my shout outs to them. Salty Texas, you were going to say something.
No, what I was going to say is that, and I kind of forgot after the overt homoerotic statements by several of your panel members.
We're not gay enough. We're not gay enough.
No, I'm not judging. I'm just reporting the news.
Then I'll be talking like this the whole time. How's that sound?
I'm strangely aroused, Baron. But
Yes.
what I was going to say
Still not gay enough.
is I think why people have become upset is that we're starting to see insertions of, first of all, it starts with the writing. The writing it's gone. And like I said, if we got a show like Battlestar Galactica and we get race, gender, sexuality swaps, and it's not what the story's about, then it's not a big deal. It's organic and it's part of a lived-in world. I think what was so jarring, and for me, what really fired me to come back to YouTube was seeing what they did with a fantasy property with the Wheel of Time, where they explicitly just cast this like a Benetton ad, like a United Nations representation conference, and then none of the characters actually acted like the characters in the books. And what happened is when you pointed out, hey, these are not the characters from the books, then you get called a racist, or you're afraid of strong women, or whatever it is. And that is where, like some people have said, if we get sucked into that argument, we're going to lose, because they have the steps.
Don't get sucked into it, Salty. Don't fall for it. It's a trap when you do. That's why I say let them prove it. That's why I say don't prove it, don't defend. You are falling into their trap. Let them prove it. Let them show you how they got from point A to point B to make their conclusion. All right, carry on.
Yeah, and I don't want this. I don't want to own this chatter. I'm just saying what we're seeing with Tolkien. There's a lot to indicate that it's going to get really weird with this show. And I know I got blocked on a Friends of Tolkien. I got ripped out of that show for making comments and asking the questions that we all want to know, which is, what are you really going to do? And I think Tolkien, this thing with Tolkien, the backlash from the fans, none of us are racist. None of us are phobic. We just want to see a good story that is true to the source material. And I think Amazon went way, way, way beyond where they ever expected anybody. I don't even have
devil's
words for
advocate,
this.
because I know that you're really hitting it hard on your channel with and I love the coverage. we haven't seen a single episode yet. Now, they always told us that, Salty, right? Wait till it comes out. We haven't seen it yet, right? And we always get burned.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But that's the thing they're pushing with it.
When can we expect, like, so when's the next, footage? When can we expect a little something?
Well, according to these fan sites and going off of, and I've been speaking with a lot of different people, including George the Giant Slayer, Viking Out of Time, European Lore. A lot of us are trying to make inroads with some of these people who got the all expense paid trip. And what we heard yesterday is that they can't even tell us the date that they can start telling us things, which to me means that's true, a pretty damn ironclad NDA. Now, why do you need to have such an ironclad NDA if you have so much confidence in your show?
Gary from Pop Culture Minefield has just joined us. Unlike the way he runs his stream, this is, and unlike what people think Latinos are, we are orderly, we are disciplined. So,
oh my God! I just got here and you're shitting on me.
That was a fuck fest, man.
Unlike Gary, who's a very white man.
I like the fact I'm above Gary. That's what I like.
Orale. We have
everybody knows I'm a power bottom.
We have amazing people in the chat. Let's continue this conversation of being seen. What does that mean to you? Is it ridiculous? And if it is, do you give any respect to those people who say, well, I like, people who have different backgrounds who say, well, I just, I want a character that's not third cholo to the right. I don't want to always be seen as that. I want to be seen differently.
Paulie?
Doesn't matter. Let's go to Moonlight.
Well, I definitely have a lot to say about that. Just, again, with Salty Texas talking about, was it Michael Clark Duncan and Daredevil? Was that him? Did I get that right? I never saw Daredevil.
Yeah, 32. Yeah.
But I think
it's great in that. Rest in peace. Yeah.
It goes to. I'm a big fan of WWE wrestling, and what I love about that is that all those characters.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Really fast. Nick has to go. I apologize. Nick, you take care, buddy. Much love.
Paulie, thank you for bringing me on here, man. I appreciate it. Hi, Gary. Bye, Gary. I'll see you guys all soon. Once again, Paulie, appreciate the chat. Love having these tough conversations. Hopefully we can do more again soon. And to the chat, even though I can't see you, I wish you all a magical day filled with gluten and greatness.
Well, listen, this is going to make your day real quick because you can't see the chat, but Drunk 3PO did say, here it is, I just want a beer with Nick and my life is complete.
I love that.
Drunk, I'll see you in Vegas and we can make your wishes become reality.
All right, take care, buddy. We'll see you. Love you.
Well, I felt that I was on the Art Bell show there for a while with the guest,
Okay, so
reminded me of David Lynch.
Moonlight, continue.
So I mean, the great thing about WWE and a great thing about a lot of older movies that I love is that the movies or the story doesn't work quite as well unless you have characters that really kind of, through their character, bring the story to life more. And Michael Clark Duncan, I imagine, he was a presence on screen and he had a very distinct style of acting and being in front of the camera that people loved. And I can imagine that was a really big draw for Daredevil and a really good reason to have him on. And with WWE, that's a very, just ethnically, racially diverse weekly storyline that's happening in real time. And the fans love them all because they're larger than life characters and they could be, very flamboyant and over the top and playing to, where they're from. Like, you have people like the Great Khali or Eddie Guerrero, or it's just, someone like Mankind or The Rock, which just has that very larger than life personality. And I think we're kind of going away from that now, where it's not representing, it's just representation on a very cursory, one-dimensional level and like I said before on Gary's show,
Gary.
I do that. Like, it's a dyslexic thing. Like, ever since you brought it up, now my brain like deliberately trips me over. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, it's like I cast a girl in my last movie who's from Argentina. Like I said before, where it was just, she's like, this is one of the few roles I've ever had where I'm not like a stereotypical character, written as a stereotypical Latina character. And she even told me she's got a very heavy Argentinian accent. And she, in auditions, they're like, oh, can you tone down the accent a bit? That's a bit too stereotype. And she was like, this is my real accent, So it's just this weird thing where people kind of they don't know where to balance that aspect of it. We talked before about stereotypes. It's like they're afraid of stereotypes, but they don't know that some stereotypes are not stereotypes. They're literally how people talk. I mean, I used to have an English accent when I was a boy, and I do English accents for people, and they're like, "Oh, that's a stereotypical." I'm like, "No, that's really how they talk over there." Really? That I think some people believe that everyone secretly around the world has American accents, and they just put on this stereotype. I don't know. It's just this weird thing that people have to dance around, and the more afraid of it they become, the more afraid to engage it they become as well, and therefore it just becomes this one note that's all anyone knows how to hit.
Well, speaking from that personal experience is fantastic because, gentlemen, the accent has always been a crutch for a lot of Latinos in the States, being made fun of with the accent, broken English. It is the main reason why I stopped speaking Spanish when I was a kid. You just were getting too much shit at school. Things have changed, right? But that's my generation. So let me throw this to you guys, and we can start with Baron. Let's start with Gary because Gary just got here. Let me throw this to you guys. When Diego Luna said, "I'm going to keep my accent" in Star Wars Rogue One, a lot of us went, "Fuck yeah." Because of what I just briefly told you guys. What do you think about that, Gary?
Well, I've always been cool with that. I mean, shit, let's go back 30 years before that with Arnold Schwarzenegger. They tried to get him to take lessons to lose his accent. And he's like, no, it's who I am. It's part of who I am. And look what it did for him. His accent is really one of the most famous things about him. And of course, I love Latino accents to begin with. I think French, Italian, and Latino are the most beautiful accents in the world. So it's got a flow. But when it comes to identity, I mean, look, you are who you are. Why would anybody expect you not to be who you are? And even though as an actor, I could see where the character may be written in such a way to where you wouldn't want to have the accent, but if it's not essential to that, why would you want to take it away? So I'm glad he did it. I think Luna did I loved him in the film. I thought he did a fantastic job, and his accent just added more exotic nature to his character.
And Baron, any thoughts?
Well, to add on to it, also expanded the universe. It's like, it's like, every time you heard an English accent, it was an Imperial. It's a bad guy. You start bringing in some of these other accents you had around there. You have made the universe larger. There's no reason why it should be taken away. If that's the person, that's the person. It shouldn't be. People say whitewash. Let's just call it yank wash. Whereas we don't want to make it. We don't want anybody to sound other than English, American English. And if it is, it's going to be some, stereotype, some. If you have a German accent, you're instantly cast as the bad guy in the film, or you have that Norwegian accent, you're kind of that big dumb idiot in there. All the way across the board. When you start bringing it where the person is acting as their natural and they're playing a part, it does nothing but expand and grow characters, story, and universes all across the board.
Fantastic. Deleted Scenes, who is, I believe, is transmitting via transistor radio. Go ahead.
Carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon.
Okay, like I was saying on the previous broadcast, I am starting to see a change, especially in streaming, if not mainstream television, towards getting away from woke, from getting away from stereotypes. I brought up the character in Open Range. Say Open Range, Outer Range, the character of the sheriff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a very complicated character
Mm-hmm.
that might be looking for woke, might simply dismiss her, and she's not. She really has a lot going on, and at the one point in the show where she tries to lean into the woke, she gets called on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very interesting. The
Agreed.
wife calls her on it and says, "What the hell are you doing? This isn't you. This isn't us, and we got to live here." So, like, kind of cut your shit, But and I thought, and when they got to that scene, I was like, "Wow!"
If you can speak a little closer into the mic.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay.
No,
I
it was
find
worse.
myself saying that a lot. I know.
Man,
Okay.
that's my thing with
I
Steven
know.
is that he's so brilliant. It's just like we gotta get that boy out.
GoFundMe for a mic.
Not even a mic, it's some Ethernet cable.
GoFundMe for a mic.
Or something.
A satellite, algo.
Get them off a shortwave.
All right. Salty.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steven. I'm just gonna go for it. Go on.
No, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Steven was hitting it out of the park, honestly.
No,
Steven,
he is, but it's just the connectivity. Go ahead, Steven. Give it a shot.
Okay, I just want to say I was very surprised when they got to the scene where the wife, I keep calling her the wife because I don't think they ever mentioned her by name at any point. If they did, I missed it. But I very much like that scene because it's like anybody who might be chastising the show for being woke, and I know there are some that have been, you got to stick around for that scene because that's sort of that storyline. There is a character who at one point gets called on it, and how many times do we see that on screen? And I know I keep going back to that scene. It's a very complicated character, and she's not a Mary Sue. She messes up. And she finds herself kind of out of touch with her heritage, and she kind of gets that back a little bit too. And it's I was very surprised by that whole storyline because they spend much of one particular episode on this character, and she's a supporting character. And I'm like, where are we going with this? We're kind of losing track of the story. Oh, that's where we're going with this. You want to talk about representation that we don't normally see on television. That is certainly one in the win column, I think. At least we got to win because we, like Paulie was talking about, Promised Land, which is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And they nerfed it. The network nerfed it, and I don't want to say it's racism, but what else could it be?
Real quick, CJ, we're talking about Outer Range and jumping back and forth of different shows. Just giving examples of what is real, authentic representation, and ultimately, I think we can all agree, Salty, it comes from great storytelling.
Well, and I'm really glad Deleted Scenes brought up Outer Range because that's a show that I actually love. I love it. No, it's not perfect, but
No.
in particular, the character that Deleted Scenes was talking about, that sheriff, I kept waiting in 8 episodes to be hit in the face with messaging. Never got it. And I was so thrilled with not having ideology shoved in my face. And not only that, but actually honoring in a meaningful way that character's heritage. And then watching her, thanks to the good writing, you can see
And-
her own emotion in
Yes.
responding to her own character's heritage, brother. Yeah.
But also her acting. That actor they
Yes, dude.
got? Damn.
Yeah,
Because
so
that's
good.
great.
Because, I mean,
She's
when
so
Romy compliments another female actor that could be in her range, you know, because she's Romy's an actor, you know that actor is good. Like,
Yeah.
she is brilliantly good. That whole cast is, and it elevates. It elevates. And here, Retro Nerd Girl, good actors and good stories make you forget about casting.
Bingo.
It's become a gimmick in everyone. Even the POC Hollywood is trying to resent this with a passion. Represent this with a passion. And that's the thing, is that when we can all take a victory lap on all sides, panel, even then it's not enough. It seems for that side, because they want to like just keep poking at you. They want to keep hashtagging the shit out of representation matters. It's like, yo, calmate, yeah, we won. Everyone's happy. This is a great fucking show. You got everyone. It's like they're not happy.
Yeah.
Anyone want to comment?
Yeah.
Please jump in. This is a jump in. Go jump in now.
Okay.
This is Gary style. Gary style.
Screw you, Gary.
It's his style. Then I gotta clean my keyboard.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Oh, I'm going to open a Red Bull, and no, I mean beer.
I'm going to do my keyboard here too.
When I worked for a magazine back in the 80s, it was the first gig I had as an artist. And I started writing comic scripts for the magazine with really top-notch self-help gurus that were out there. I ended up writing one comic strip that was picked up by the AP Newswire for their internal news magazine for their company. And all I did was I showed a guy, a sales rep, trying to sell somebody something, and they just keep talking. And they keep talking, and the guy says, I'll take 5. And he keeps talking, trying to sell the item. The guy says, I'll take 5. And again, he continues talking, trying to sell the product. And this is what you got with the studios, where I was trying to make the point that you need to learn when to shut the fuck up and support what you got, because you said it. One of you said it. You won. You got what you wanted. I think that was you, Paulie, that said that. It's like, so stop trying to beat the dead horse and start really putting out good quality work. And I've always said, and it's a rule of mine, that I will watch a woke show or film if it's well written and well acted. I don't care if it's got a little bit of politics in it. What I care about is a good story, well acted, good character arcs, and interesting story arcs.
Do you guys think the backlash is because...
Hold on. We're here, panel. If you just got here, we're talking about being seen, representation. Does it matter? Welcome to the Latino Slant. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you are subscribed, not only to myself, but to all these fine gentlemen. Salty.
Oh, no, I was just going to say...
After. Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Real quick with it. There's been the talk of the acting in this. But as someone who does writing and is, getting stuff up the ground and actually getting involved with producing, I've done a short film, a couple other things. One of the things that's really frustrating on my end with what I've been seeing in the industry is there's the expectation, if you are not race X, you cannot write characters who are race X, which is inherently stupid and damaging, because in essence, because I'm white, I'm not allowed to write Latina or Latino characters, and thus I will not be allowed to create because of these particular people who are in charge of the studio system. Not only that, Final Draft recently, I think it was like version 12, added a diversity and inclusion option. and with it, you can metadata mark the race, ethnicity, gender, etc. of your characters, and it will generate graphs.
That's
for the
horrifying to me.
studios to use based upon that. So literally, they are literally just making metrics for minorities, not caring about they have X number of lines, but not the content of those actual lines.
Yeah, they're doing it in video games too. In video games, I think it's Blizzard just released an internal tool to track the diversity of each one of the characters created within their video games.
You know, and one of the sad things. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Oh, one of the things, you know, and Gary, you said that on your show earlier, and I think it was very telling. He's like, I saw the show was on ABC. I immediately thought blank, and that is one of the problems there is you have great shows that are coming out there that aren't woke. They are well done, but because they're being pushed by a certain studio, or they're pushing certain elements inside the show and not what fully the show is about, you're driving people away from good quality entertainment because they automatically, because let's face it, for the last 10 years, getting the woke shoved down our throat, we think, oh, it's woke, we're not going to watch it, we're going to go somewhere else. I don't want to be lectured to. And they're missing something absolutely fantastic.
I had lost my train of thought as well. Anyone have a
Well, one thing go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I mean, really, to all of your points, I mean, decades ago, they made segregation illegal. But it seems like a lot of this is designed just to get us to start mentally segregating ourselves, you know, putting in these, ethnic markers in programs, or, you know, like the idea that white people can't write Asian or Black or Latino characters. But at the same time, if you're a white person and you don't write those things, then you'll get accused of racism too. So it becomes a no-win situation, and you know, to the point that it's not. But collect my thought, because I kind of
go ahead. It's a big topic. Go ahead.
It is, but you know, essentially it becomes a no-win situation designed by people who don't have the talent or the imagination to accomplish what people who have come before have accomplished. And therefore, you know, it's not like, oh, you got what you want, you won, we have more inclusion or anything like that. That's not what they want. They just want ways to be superior over people because they don't actually have talent or imagination themselves. So therefore, it just becomes this nobody wins game. So people of different skin colors are getting used as props so they can beat the other people with different skin color over the head with moral superiority. And the art gets lost. It's not about the entertainment. It's not about the art anymore. It's not about the story. It's not about anything other than they always have it up on you in some way or another. And therefore, nobody wins. And they don't win because they still don't produce anything. We're being lectured by people who don't actually produce anything of value.
No. Fantastic comments and opinions being shared here on the panel. Thank you guys so much. I believe this is Alan Nig from Film Threat. Hello, Alan. As an Asian American, we were never really seen until Crazy Rich Asians. And then he goes on to say, Mulan is an example of a non-white trying to write Asian. It failed miserably. Interesting.
Because,
you know,
I'm a big fan of Film Threat, by the way, Paulie.
So am I. Making my movie a fantastic.
Guys.
I love Film Threat.
I love you guys on the panel, but this is not Pop Culture Minefield. Whoa. Prow.
Damn.
Your comment burns.
I don't like anybody, so it doesn't
you
matter.
don't know how you're dealing with this is. Anyone want to speak to this? What Alan was because you did speak to it, Chinatsky, and you know.
Well, one of the things you have out there is you have this crying about racial or ethnic appropriation, and which is not necessarily the case. It's appreciation. Like my grandmother, she moved down to Santa Fe and she fell in love with not just the Latin culture, but the local Indian culture. And she just adored and loved it. Whenever I went down there, she was always bringing me to these places and filling me with the rich history that was involved around there. Well, you would sit back and say, oh, she's just appropriated. No, she appreciates it. A person who can go out there and study a culture, like, say you're sitting down and going to write something about Asian culture, and you sit down and you study it, it's appreciation. The tokenism that we have out there is appropriation. It's just an example for you, Paulie. Do you feel, because there's so many different type of Latinos throughout the United States? You have the Cubanos, you have the Puerto Ricans, you have, of course, from Mexico, all that. But Hollywood tends to want to grab you all, put you into a blender, turn it on to the highest speed, then pour it out and say, "Here, we're representing you."
Yeah,
when
that's
not the case.
That's America Chavez. But let's put a pause on that because our boys got to leave. Plug your channel.
Hail. No,
dear
first of all, Paulie, thank you for popping this discussion up. I know I think we're doing a pretty good job of navigating what can be very challenging waters to have a civil conversation about, but thank you for including me on that. I just want to shout out a couple things. I'm going to be doing a special live broadcast on Monday at noon Central Time. It's going to include the one and only heel versus babyface, as well as the lovely purple Valkyrie, and of course Zax. And then of course we're going to be having a regular Salty Texas Tuesday show. It's going to be starting an hour earlier now at 6:15 Central PM. So I hope to see you guys there. So gentlemen, this was a fantastic panel. Thank you so much for asking me to join this.
Orale.
Salty.
Make sure we throw that link. If we can throw the link in the chat, if I'll get it once I can. But take care, brother.
Thank you. Take it easy, guys.
Have a great weekend. Rest of your weekend.
Okay, and I love you, Zach. Just
Baron, keep going.
Okay, I find that with the other cultures. I mean, I kind of touched upon it before. Like, if you're German, you're put into this big pot of being the big heavy guy. When it comes around to Scandinavia, people don't realize that there's so many different forms. What Scandinavian are you talking about? Are you talking about Norwegian? Are you talking about Swedish? Are you talking about the Danes, Icelandics? Are you talking about the Americans that came over here and immigrated? Now, go to Norway and ask someone about lutefisk. They won't even know what lutefisk is all about, but yet the Norwegian Americans, it's a big thing. It's just, and of course, not everybody goes around talking with "Don't you know?" there up here in Minnesota. Don't you know? It seems like when it comes to Hollywood, they go with the appropriation. They go with heavy on the stereotype without appreciating and having the appreciation of the other cultures and bring it forward. I mean, if you have someone from a culture that's a bad guy and it's a good reason, well, let it be. But no, just don't do it because they are that person.
And I know, Christopher, you have to bail.
Yeah,
I do. Get a link. Do you have a link?
A link? No, my YouTube channel. I could grab that.
You go. Well, if there's anywhere where people can follow you, just throw it in the private chat and let people know.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to encourage people to go watch my movie, The Quantum Terror, which is
oh my God, I will do it. Give me that and I'll review it.
Thank you very much. I'll send you I'll send you my email and I'll send you a copy. But it's on Zumo streaming right now. It's going to be coming soon to Free Movie Channel and Filmzy. It's also available for download on Gumroad. It's a Lovecraftian, Lynchian horror movie. I'm really proud of it. I made it on a shoestring budget and cast it with the best people. Not that too many people went to audition here in Texas, but I did get some great actors, including Val Merrick, that co-created Howard the Duck. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been a great discussion. I don't get to talk about this very often, and I could go on for ages about it, but I've actually been neglecting an editing job, and my wife and kids are probably wondering where I am.
Oh, yeah. I hear you, man.
Thank
Well,
you
it's a
so
pleasure
much.
meeting you, sir.
It's nice
Good
meeting you,
talk.
man.
You
We'll see
too,
ya.
and I hope to hear about more of you. I'm gonna go look you all up.
Whatever.
I'll
Take
see you
care.
next week, Chris.
Take care,
Yes,
Chris.
sir. Thank you.
I'll probably see you next week too.
Okay,
Awesome. Yeah, it's
links.
been a lot of fun. Thank you.
You got it, man. Links are in the chat to Salty and to Chris's channels. There you have it. Cool. Right. Move stuff around. Someone's offended with Gary being on the top slot. I mean, that's not right, dude. That's not right. It's all good, Gary. It's all good. We got you. We got you.
Who's
bro.
offended?
We got you.
Oh, fuck you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I love you, buddy.
Hey,
I'm offended.
Hey,
I
don't
love
say
Tickle
that. Don't say that to my people in the chat, Gary.
When I say fuck you, though, you know it means I love you.
You say chinga tu madre. Say it in Spanish, bro. Curse in Spanish. Okay, so where were we, good people?
Chingo de madre?
I have no idea no more.
Did you say chingo de madre?
Chinga
de madre.
Yeah, no me chingues. Don't
Let's
fuck
see.
with me.
Last immediate subject.
Okay.
It was what
Yeah.
tokenism writing, where
Yeah,
it was
tokenism.
because responding to Alan, I'm presuming you're talking about the latest Mulan because you just said Mulan. Like the original Disney one was actually a lot closer and was actually like it wasn't 100% right, but it was a lot better done than the recent one, which completely misunderstood everything about it. The recent Disney Mulan is the case of the writers not doing their fucking research. You should be able to write about other cultures. You can still fuck it up, but you can still fuck up writing about your own culture.
Oh.
Okay. This is all at times pointless, tiring, dead end in sight, Gary, because at the end of the day, those people that gripe, poke, hashtag, cancel, want to get what they want, they're not fans of the stuff that we love. They're not fans of Lord of the Rings. They're not fans of Star Wars. They might be in it for the shining light and they can say they got represented, that they were seen, but do they really care about these IPs, these beloved comics, movies, television shows? Gary, go ahead.
You're nailing it, man. No, they don't. Look, it was like a little over a decade ago. Members of the woke community warned nerds were coming for you. And we didn't take them seriously. We did not take them seriously. And they freaking meant it, man. They wanted it to consume and take the things that we loved and cherish. And I always refer to it as them shitting on it. But the fact is, that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to take it away from you. They're those kids that we knew on the block growing up that would steal your freaking toys because they didn't think it was right. You had the nice stuff. And I've run into those kids as a kid. And that's kind of what it reminds me of is we don't want you to have anything nice. And we're going to take it and turn it into something we want. We have no emotional attachment to this. It is all about our agenda, our personal political swing. And I hate talking politics, but I don't mind talking social politics because it's a different animal. And what I found is most of my friends, no matter what our political swing is, we all tend to pretty much agree that this is a problem. And they are ruining some really amazing properties. And there is also, I want to bring this up about Amazon in particular, that there is rumors about that Bezos is doing this to decrease the value of properties. And he's allowing some of these things to go ahead and happen, not just for the politics that he supports, but because of the fact that it devalues it to where he can purchase it, lower that price. And I believe that's part of what's going on with Wheel of Time and with Lord of the Rings.
Mr. Tinkle Chunk, I want to grab this for $5 Canadian. When Gary says F you, he means I love you. It is his as you wish.
Tickle Trunk gets me, man. He really
gets you,
As
man.
you
You
fuck
guys
you.
are. Let's play a little thank you tip. Yeah, let's do a little La Bamba.
Cuando canto la bamba yo estoy contento porque yo me acompaño, porque yo me acompaño con mi instrumento allá arriba y arriba, allá arriba y arriba, bamba, bamba.
Thank you, Mr. Tickle Chunk. Thank you to the
I love
members
that.
of the Latino Slant. Thank you to all the subscribers and the panel. But the people in the chat right now are lighting it up with each other. And it's good talk. These are not, conversations. I mean, I do have a breaking news item, and I would love for the panel to I'm going to clip this one once I bring it up and get everyone's opinions. But you guys are fantastic in the chat, and yeah, let me see. I think that was it. They're going off on Alan and them are going off on Mulan. Woo! Baron, did you have any thoughts on that, on what Gary was saying?
About the yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, being involved heavily with fandom back in the 80s and such, there were fringe groups inside there that you would call your woke element, but they were fringe. We ourselves lacked them. We were the ones that sat back there. They're the ones that sat in the basement and they thought they were, really Klingons and or whatever. Thought they were Vulcans, and they even went out in the real world acting that way. But they're the fringe group. Now, that's not the element that kept alive. It's us fans. Now it seems like the inmates, what we called, are running the asylum. So you still hear these sycophants that, oh, STD is so great, so wonderful. It's that small little element that we had in our fan groups that are keeping alive in there. But it's from the outside. These people don't care. I think Gary hit it just right on that they wanted to have these properties get crushed down so they can take it. And what are they going to do with it once they get it, though? It's like, now you have yourself a dead animal. You bought this property. What do you do with it?
I want to add one little thing to that. It's part of collectivism. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's great. I mean, it's all part of collectivism. But if you tore it down, you're not going to get people coming back. You're not going to get that new element. The thing that's kept us alive throughout the ages until just recently is we were passing this down to the next generation. You had fans of Star Wars that were born long after Return of the Jedi, and then of course Phantom Menace came around, and in the Clone Wars that helped really shoot it up. We had the books, we had the comics, we had the movies we played over and over again. They can't say that we can't bring other generations or we've outgrown it. That's a lie. But now you start hitting this new Disney space conflicts. The golden, the goose is not laying golden eggs no more. It's tin eggs that they have out there. What are you going to do? You're not bringing in these new people because of it. And exactly like you said, these are not people that are pushing this agenda, don't care, other than one thing. They want to see it destroyed. Not only do they want to take it away from you, they want to break it. It's that next stage. They just want to break it.
Yeah, and
I got some.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I got some. I want to go off topic, if that's okay. You guys want to be part of some breaking news with me?
Sure, yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Okay, we're going to do the news break thing.
We're going to clip this, and we'll do a clip, an intro and outro right now. So let's have some fun, and we'll bring up the news item. Here we go. The Latino Slant presents Slant News Flash. Entertainment stories from around the world. Give us 5 minutos. We'll give you El Mundo. Breaking. Zorro Amazon series cast elite star Miguel Berandu, Hanata Noti as the leads. Some good-looking people there. That's what we would probably want as our Zorro and love interest. Miguel Barandu Guzman in Netflix smash Elite, and Mexico's Renata Noti will head the cast of Zorro, a reboot series from Los Angeles-based Sequoia Studios and John Gertz that will stream exclusively on Amazon Prime's video in the US, Latin America, and Spain. Wow. The flagship series at Sequoia Studios, Zorro is a modern take on the hero. It's directed by Javier Quintas. And there you have the rest of the cast. Let's scroll on down. John Gertz is the founder of Zorro Studios. He's also the producer of The Mask of Zorro and The Legend of Zorro movie titles. So he basically owns the Zorro IP. Barandu will play a new version of Don Diego de la Vega, a landowner and in disguise masked hero of the people. Noti takes on the role of Lolita Marquez, the love of his youth. Ooh, I like the sound of this panel. What do y'all think? Let's hear from you.
I'm
Which
hoping it's
one?
a period piece.
Yeah, me too.
Hoping it's a period piece. Yeah. I think we all absolutely. When it comes to Zorro, we want 1800s. Baron.
Well, that modern take is the frightening thing in the whole situation. Now, does that mean it's not going to be a period piece? Are they going to try to bring in real world politics into
Yeah, because
Zorro?
when
What
you hear
makes
the word new version,
exactly, and the thing is whether people like it or not, whatever struggles we're going through today is nothing new. It just come from different forms.
Nice.
When you have your generic struggles that people go through, I mean, in many ways, Zorro is a bit of the Mexican Robin Hood. Well, that's of course, going after the government that was being oppressive and giving back to the people. It's one of those continuations. So obviously, that's something that's been an age-old story. So now, what are they going to do? What are they going to change it to? Are they going to bring it into this modern takes? When you start bringing modern takes, modern thoughts, you've just destroyed it. Especially if it is a historical piece, a period.
Well,
piece,
let's
which
read
it
on.
should
The
be.
series is set to shoot in different locations in Spain's Canary Islands, so it's going to look beautiful. When Andy Jesus and Sergio proposed we should make a Zorro, and we gained the confidence of John Gertz, we faced the honor, but also responsibility of taking the most important Hispano-American hero of all times and adapting him for a new generation. And this is what we've been talking about. Shanatsky, let me also say he added, to do this, we've been lucky to count on Prime Video, the best partners possible for this journey to form both the cast, which is a luxury, as well as the best creative and production team in history. Whether it's Fairbanks Classic or Martin Campbell's The Mask of Zorro, Zorro adventures tend to be very much of their times. The latest iteration looks like no exception. Oh, Shanatsky, this is not good. You have a comment, sir.
Me? I'm just growling.
I want to get in the other.
Which one exactly of like the 3 or 4 that they announced is this?
I know it's not the Rodriguez one because that was the female led, and her the production name isn't listed. Which one is
Right.
this? Is this the hacker one, or is this like
is not? This for my records, and I will check in with Andre of Midnight's Edge as well. This looks like to be a 6th or 7th version, because I've never heard this one going to Amazon Prime and shooting in Canary Islands. There is the Wilmer Valderrama one, which is with Disney. There is the female Rodriguez, which I believe is NBC or ABC. There's the hacker one. There's this. Let us read on. Zorro is billed by Sequoia Studios as an up-to-date vision of the legendary figure, a symbol of justice and defender of the oppressed. The production perfectly takes in the diversity of an emerging world in which different races try to live together. Can't we all just get along? Can we all just get along? Deleted scenes. Zorro will be shaped by relationships from his youth, love, and disappointment. In love, he will forge his development as a character and reflect a kind of masculinity far from stereotypes, Sequoia announced.
Oh, not
battle
toxic.
I'm sorry?
Not toxic. I get it.
Yes. His bottle also takes in discovering who murdered his father, a personal mission that leads him to discover family secrets that will change forever his destiny.
They've lost me.
Okay, let me
well,
just
this
finish
next coming
here.
up lost me.
Let me just finish here. This last sentence. Likewise, women in the series will be, and they quote, before their time, empowered, standing up to the masked hero or acting as confidants according to their own interests.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there we go.
This is a
Let me get
politician
quick
statement.
one-liners from you guys, and we will end this breaking news.
Good Googa Mooga.
Shanatsky.
This was written by politicians because, like a politician, they said a lot and yet said absolutely nothing.
Nice. Deleted scenes.
Deleted?
Oh well, this is what we're talking about, isn't it? This is going to lean in a direction we're not going to want it to go, and I'm more interested in Wilmer Valderrama's version, and I never thought I'd say that.
And thank you for that slant news flash. Stay here for the latest in your resource of Latino entertainment here on The Slant. Slant News Flash was recorded at the Slant Studios. All information has been pre-approved by our Slantino staff of Chicanos, Cholos, Homeboys, and Homegirls. Keep your slant fuerte. Good God. That press release was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, I'm going back and reading it again right now.
With those clips, I don't want to get too. It's just more like we read the news, opinion. You guys were great.
Shanatsky had. I think he won. Shanatsky won the comments on that one.
Yeah, you did.
Well, it's a variant on an old George Carlin thing. He had a point where he was at a press conference. You know, he was the usual presidential thing. He was just going over.
Let's hear what our chat has to say. Zora, Lady Umbre, Johnston Macaulay wrote Zorro. He said he sold the rights to Gertz's father. Yes. And that's why that family's had it for so long. Losing excitement as I read further. I think we all are in agreement with this one. Rolls eyes.
Yeah.
CJ, ding, 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 ding. They said diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are the code words they use to let the other people in the club know. Yeah, we're staying in our ideological safety zone.
Well, Michael T feels seen, so that's good.
Well, the most inclusionary Zorro was Zorro the Gay Blade with George Hamilton, so I'll go back and watch that.
I've been a Zorro fan since I was a little kid. I don't recall the women being weak in any version. No. I mean, I mean, just what Baron had said. It's like this is not. You're not doing anything new. In fact, Latina women in the 1800s in particular have always been like. There's so many strong stories about them, and in the Mexican Revolution. I mean, you're not doing anything new, and your modern take of being a strong woman is inherently not strong. You could not compete to the strength of my mother. You could not compete to the strength of my grandmother. Those women, and like I'm sure we all have those stories, but we're just talking about the Latino experience in this one. You pale. They're giants. Well,
I got a lot of Latinos in my family.
Sure.
I'm just and I see it in them all
Good
the
luck
time.
finding a weak Latino. Oh, they will.
Well,
and you know what? It'll fail. Fail.
The saddest part about this, they kept bringing up Mask of Zorro, but it's a producer on Mask of Zorro. Like, if it had been a writer or one of the directors, that would have been a cause to celebrate. But there's so many producers in so many movies. It's like the producer of whatever is usually what's attached to a movie that is crap. That's going to fail. Like, I remember, was it The Relic? From the producers of Terminator and Aliens. It's like no one else involved with those films worked on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think they put some important other things in there. They say about how they have that stronger take, the more modern take of the woman, but yet we're going to have the man, not the different type of masculinity. Cuck.
Gary, I'm frustrated. Amazon can't even do Zorro White. I should have guessed. We're here. Bang up Lord of the Rings show coming.
Well, look,
now, if they had announced that,
I said Gary Shanatsky.
Oh, sorry.
Stay away. I'm trying to keep the.
First of all, I'm friends with CJ, and as I recall, I believe he's Latino too. But Amazon is once again is one of those companies. Bezos is a collectivist, and he wants to collect all these properties and do what he wants with them, because technically he's not really going to lose money.
No,
when his products don't make money or bank or bring in new subs, because Amazon Prime is more than just the videos. He makes a lot of money through the gaming, through, of course, shipping, sales of the products. He sees this as just one little small aspect of his, as Cameron Pasha put it, communist utopia.
Wow. I know
he called it that on our show. I was like,
wow. He's got a lot of he's licensed Zorro out to at least I want to say now 6 to 8 different productions, iterations. Shanatsky, your thoughts?
Well, with all the licensing, I think it's safe to say it's no longer Zorro. It's Zorho.
Nice. You see, Shanatsky, when you wait your turn, you get YouTube gold, my brother. YouTube.
He wins again.
He wins again. Bryant Barth, and it's good to have you here, man. Do you hope George Lopez's new show will be good? Fuck yeah, I do. A good buddy of mine, Andy Vargas, who is the lead singer of Santana, is in business with Lopez with their new record label. I want him to be successful because it'll mean the record label. Everything success begets success. It sounds like Lopez versus Lopez sounds like a great situational comedy idea. Old Lopez versus his daughter, the new woke Lopez. I think that's comedy. Yes, I do hope.
Yes,
absolutely. I love George. Yeah, I mean, I don't love George. I don't, who do I love? That's a stand-up. I love Fluffy. Zorro,
Fluffy's
George
great,
Lopez.
dude.
Yeah. George is funny. George is funny, but I love Fluffy. Amazon is for shipping first and foremost. I mean, don't forget that, yo. Salty Texas C for $1.99. He's a member of the channel. I want Gary to sing some Wham.
He does look like George Michaels.
And go.
Oh, I don't know. He whams some.
Come on. Last Christmas,
I don't know that one.
I gave. Never gonna dance again.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't do that.
Wake me up before you go.
There you go. Wake me up before you go. This is something so love.
Wow,
that's it.
Wow. Did you got your $2 worth right there? $1.99. I think he's on his phone. Beautiful. Thank you, Salty Texas. You're too kind. Wow.
Yeah, I love Salty. He's a cool dude.
Deleted scenes.
Well, how do I feel about it? Yeah.
It's a whole process before you can talk.
It's such a process just for him to like. He's turning on switches so like everything.
He's tuning into the right frequency on that shortwave band.
Damn, I
to
love
get
you,
to
Steven.
us.
We all love him.
You son of a bitch. You know what?
Well, I mean, that article did not make me feel too good about that particular iteration, and I mean, it's like I said earlier. It's like I'm looking forward to the Wilmer Valderrama version because he seems to be the one most interested in making Zorro.
He's really passionate.
Everybody else.
And I like that kid. I really like that kid.
Well, he's pretty progressive, the whole thing. But from what I've seen and heard, they're going for that classic Disney version from the 50s. Like, I want that. I want that. You don't need to be changing shit. And for our super chats and for members of the channel, let's take a little dance break.
It's funny that you should show that. The long-suffering Mrs. Tag and I were dancing just like that last night.
Dude, were you flipping her like that, bro?
No.
Well, hats off to your wife and to women that dance like her. That woman in that video is I love her, man.
Wow,
I love her,
that was
Gary.
impressive.
Just love her. You know, dancing. Yes.
That got me dizzy.
Did it?
Watching that.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's been a great hour and a half. What's the dog's name? What's your dog's name, Gary?
Oh, it's Taylor. She needed daddy. She
Yeah.
wants to be
Aww.
Oh, that's a
my
boo
baby
boo.
girl.
I love it, man. It's been a great day of live streams. We started this on Gary's channel and we came on over here.
Mhm.
And let's get a couple of chats and then you guys some closing remarks. Put this one to bed. Yes, the Wilma version is the one that caught my interest because of his attitude. The others, what I've read about them, is not including me to watch them, inducing me and including. That's funny. Aaron, hello, Aaron. I haven't seen you in our chats, so welcome. Never thought I'd be rooting for a Disney show to succeed, but I hope the Disney Plus Zorro is a smash hit. Ah, God, and that's the schizophrenia of Disney. Ugh. Yeah, man. But I still gonna put Disney's feet to the fire, guys. Any parting words, gentlemen?
I am here to support your doing that. I want to be a part of it because it's going to take all of us fighting this shit. Not just talking about it, but actually taking it to them. Stop it.
And Baron.
I second what Gary has to sit back and say. We have to stand up. We have to fight for this. We just can't sit back and be passive. I mean, we just showed right here how much we do love the other cultures that are out there that's been represented, whether it's in science fiction or fantasy or just regular fiction, historical fiction. I mean, how many people love Zorro? I mean, all the way across the board, and of all different ethnicities. And we have to take up this fight. I also think Shinatsky has won the Golden Taco Award for his comments that he has. So he did a good job with a couple of the lines that he did drop. So that's what I have to enter.
The Golden Taco, I love it. Shinatsky.
I accept the golden taco. It is delicious. Real quick, here's one simple idea. Get Zorro and mine characters who are in that pulp era and maybe even before, around the time when Zorro was created. Mine them. A lot of them are probably in the public domain. Do movies of those, then start to cross them over. You could do a brand new adventure with all these classic characters who've potentially stood the test of time and who audiences aren't familiar with, but were popular. You just update them the right way, where they take the classic elements, put them in a thing, then start crossing over, and then start doing the Avengers and all that thing. You could make a classic adventure cinematic universe, and that could be worth a lot. But instead, we get fucking MCU shit. Go ahead.
No, it's good. And deleted scenes.
I'm seeing the tide turning. The final re may still come, as Tom Connors says, but I'm seeing some steps in the right direction here, and now is the time for us to stick together. Keep up the fight.
Amen.
Amen. And I just shared a picture. I fucking Wilmer, man. I fucking love this dude. He is masculine. He looks the part. This guy is going to play Zorro the way I want to see.
That's
Zorro play.
Fez? Holy cow.
Oh yeah, he's growing up.
Yeah, look at that neck. He's on a pencil neck anymore, man. He works out.
But he's all he put a video up of it at his gym, and he put the Zorro decal on the mirror.
Did
he's
he?
He's looking at it every day he works out. I'm like, you got the right attitude, boy.
I think I just looked at Zorro. I think I have just looked at Zorro right there. That's impressive.
And you know, one of the things I love about him,
I
Paulie,
was going to close out the show.
No, I just wanted to say,
yep,
is he didn't even speak much English when he got the part in the '70s show. He learned English while he was on the show.
You're right.
Isn't that amazing?
You're right.
He was the best part of the show.
He was. I love Fez. All right, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
And I want to thank the panel for coming on. We want to thank Salty Texas C, all the other gentlemen that have come on through, Gary, and all you fine people in the chat. I don't think people want to talk about the excuse me. It seems that people don't want to talk about uncomfortable topics, especially when it comes to entertainment. We just want to be entertained. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your identity, your soapbox this, your representation of that. We just want to be entertained. And while I do agree, I think it's important to give respect to those people who are friends, such as me, that want certain things and, maybe the proper and the authentic representation or the authentic to be seen is to ultimately be seen outside of your stereotype. Stereotypes are fun in certain genres, but to be seen on an equal playing field, I say there's nothing wrong with that. But this conversation is to be continued. Look at all these fantastic people in the chat. Thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. Thank you, Blair to Blair. You just got here. Thank you, CJ. Do a video on this, guys. It can't just be one person doing this stuff. It makes sense for me, the Latino guy, to be talking about, this stuff. There's a Latino show. It's not. We got to talk about each other's stuff and support each other's stuff, man. Thank you, Sander. Thank you, Punkwater. You just got here. It's all great. My dude, Alan, Film Threat. I'll be there at the award show next week. All right, my friends. If you are a member of the channel, you will see your names in the credits. Wherever you're at, keep your fight fuerte. And fuerte means your strength. Paz y dale gas.